this is Garrett McCouchy's Cummings, and today I'll be reviewing one of my favorite arcade classics of the early 80s. Released in 1982 was a game called Bagman, also known as Le Bagnard. Created by Valadon Automation in association with Stern, this is a game you may or may not remember. So you control an escaped convict searching for bags of gold scattered throughout a large underground mine. The objective of the game is to collect all the bags of gold into a wheelbarrow atop the mine. Once you pick up a bag of gold, your running speed is reduced by the bag's weight. You can move the wheelbarrow atop the screen with the action button and position it anywhere on the surface while running. And once all the bags are in the wheelbarrow, Bagman pushes it off screen and the level ends. But of course, it isn't really that simple. Multiple guards will chase you in an attempt to catch you, which if they manage to do so, you lose a life and any bag you're carrying disappears from the level entirely. Now the guards are not indestructible, as Bagman has a few ways of knocking them out temporarily. You can roll a bag down a mound towards the guards to crash into them. If you drop a bag from the ladder you're climbing, it can knock any guards below you plummeting off the ladder. And you can even hit them with any of the scattered pickaxes, which only has limited use. The pickaxe will disappear if you either hit a guard with it or wield it too long, which by the way, the guards will run away as soon as they see you with it, thus making it a deterrent. Anyway, the pickaxes can also be used to clear a wall leading to a bigger bag of gold, which is worth more points but slows you down significantly. Now there's also minecarts, which act as an easy way of traveling from screen to screen, as well as temporary invincibility from the guards. The minecarts move infinitely back and forth across the rails, and how they work is you grab a hold of one of the metal ceiling beams and drop down into the cart at just the right time. You can either get off by grabbing a hold of the ladder, or running in the reverse direction that the cart is moving, otherwise you might get hit. Now it is worth noting that you can access the minecarts and carry an object at the same time, and fortunately for Bagman, not only can't the guards travel in the minecart, but he's also immune to them while he's in there. In addition to minecarts, there is also an elevator on both the second and third screen. They ascend level by level, stopping briefly at each level, and once they reach the top, it's back to the bottom. Timing the elevators can be a little tricky sometimes, which really comes into play if you're in a pinch. Aside from the guards, other hazards in the game include taking fall damage, as well as getting hit by both the minecart and getting crushed by the elevator. And probably the most dangerous hazard of the game, the clock. When it hits 0, you lose a life. And speaking of lives, you can get a 1-up by either getting 30,000 points, or if you manage to complete the whole level without losing any bags. Now a few things to keep in mind with the guards. They'll only pursue you directly if you and them are at the same level, horizontally or vertically. How they run is kind of slow, but they can climb just as fast as you can when you're not holding a bag of gold. They can also take fall damage, but they'll always come back. And same with any other time they get hit. And what's most interesting is that they carry guns, but they don't seem to ever shoot you. This is something that they added to in the 1984 sequel Super Bagman. That is if you get far enough into the game. I've never actually seen them fire in the original though. If anyone knows if this is true or not, leave the answer in the comments. Overall, I think the game is pretty well made. The graphics were pretty good for the time. It's pretty fun and addictive even to today. What's pretty cool about Bagman himself is that upon performing certain actions, he speaks in French. Being released in 1982, Bagman qualifies as one of the first video game characters able to speak.
Oui. Hop là. À moi. Aïe aïe aïe.
Anyways, it's a shame that the series isn't more well known nowadays. A home port of this game hit the Commodore 64 in 1984 called Bagman, and another home port was almost ready to be made for the Atari 2600, but the programmer, Steve Hostetler, was laid off by Atari before he could finish it. We can only hope for an Atari 2600 homebrew in the near future. Though on that same note, a homebrew for the Colecovision was made in recent years in association with Collectervision. Anyway, In closing, it's a very good game that holds up just as well 35 years later. It didn't quite get the fame that it deserved, but to this day, many people who remember it from the 1980s still enjoy it. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my first ever arcade game review. This has been Garrett McCouchy's Cummings in another review. So until next time, keep on gaming!